G'day ladies and gentlemen, Chief Bosk here, and today I'm going to be reviewing another Studio Series figure. What's up everybody, Chief Bosk here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Bumblebee movie Studio Series number 38, Optimus Prime. Now, I was pretty adamant on not collecting anything out of the 2007 Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon line, because I just wanted to focus on those three movies, because that's what's in my stop motion, because I'm not going to be able to have this guy in my stop motion, because he doesn't tie in. But I figured I loved the movie so much, I decided I actually wanted to, every now and then, in between each purchase of actual figures I'm collecting, I might get a Bumblebee movie figure. So this is my first one, number 38, Optimus Prime. Now, first, as always, we'll take a look at the box. Here we have a render of Optimus Prime on the front, typical pointing pose, leading the Autobots into battle. Number 38, Studio Series Optimus Prime, Transformers Bumblebee, 8+, Transformers Generations, Takara Tomy. On the top, there's a window here, and there's my face. Hello. Transformers Bumblebee. On the bottom, just words. On the side, a zoomed out render from the front with legs, authentic Transformers, and there's the window there. On the other side, a zoomed in photo of the same render. Here's a Voyager class figure, Studio Series 38. And on the back, you have your obligatory product shots. Here, transformation, 35 steps. The iconic Art Deco suspension bridge spans 4,200 feet and is open to car, bike, giant converting, robot, and foot traffic. That is a bit of a weird bio, because it's more on the San Francisco Bridge and not actually on Optimus Prime. But anyway, you can get number 37, which is Rampage, which I already have. And we have the backdrop included, big screen inspired scale, all that good stuff. He does come with the San Francisco Bridge backdrop, which is the scene where we first see him in his earthen vehicle mode, the old truck, which we all love, with his trailer, and where Bumblebee transforms into, I think it's the 1997 Camaro. I think it's 1997, please correct me if I'm wrong. I have looked it up before, I have known, but it's a really nice looking backdrop there. Very nice indeed. And last but not least, he does come with instructions, which are just the regular sort of things, red for Autobot. There you have that. Now moving down, he has one accessory, and that is his ion cannon. And we haven't actually had to review an accessory on this channel for a little while, because all the Transformers I've gotten lately have been the Constructicons, and they don't have weapons. But here we have his ion blaster, and it looks really nice. The detailing is fantastic. There, camera will focus. Very, very nice. And that is actually a hole in there. There's actually a hole in there, which is pretty cool. Got your magazine and your stock. For comparison, here he is with MP10's Ion Blaster. It is very nice there. MP10's isn't much bigger, considering that MP10 is much bigger, but their weapons don't differ too much in size. But there you have that. I love this weapon, and it can store on the vehicle mode via the trailer hitch on the back here. Put it there. And trailer hitch here, it is compatible with Transformers Studio Series 32, which is the Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime. The trailer can go on the back there. Is it 32? No, it's not 32. That's the first one. Transformers, I forget which number it is, but the one with the jet wing, the third Optimus Prime. But that's all for the accessories and what it comes with. Now let's get on to the actual figure. And here we have Optimus Prime in his modernized G1 truck mode, which I really like. Nice silver paint there. Not too shiny, it's not fully chromed out, but it looks nice. I would have liked it to be chromed out, but There hasn't been much chrome going on with the Transformers Studio Series line, but I'm alright with that. The red is fantastic. It's like a satin sort of finish, and it looks really, really nice all over. There are gaps in the trailer, but that's alright. On the actual Optimus Prime, I looked it up, and the actual back section is probably about that long. It's a really weirdly proportioned truck. On the bottom, it's really nice. You got the back, his bum. You got just a space in here for some reason, but there isn't much robot kibble to look at because it's all stored in here. And this transformation is really different from all the other G1 Optimus Primes, and I really enjoy it. Much like how the Studio Series Optimus Prime from the movies is much different to all the other toys. But all over, this is really, really nice. I like it a lot. This does come out a bit there, but that's alright, I can live without it. But if you unplug it, you can see what it would have looked like. But they had to store a bit of this all here, it's the shin and knees, and they had to store it somewhere. So up there, and making a full out back of the truck, filling out the back of the truck there. Doesn't look too bad all over. I've seen how he looks with the Studio Series Optimus Prime trailer, and it looks alright, it's pretty cool. But that's just about all. He rolls on plastic wheels really well, actually. Yeah. Another nitpick is, while it tabs in very nicely, if you can see there, just there, that bit pops out. You can see a bit better on the front. See how it doesn't line up correctly? I can't push it in for some reason, it just won't stay in. But otherwise, I really like this truck mode. Now, for comparison, I got my closest Bumblebee movie character, what I've got closest to it, and that is the 1997, apparently, I think, Camaro. And they look pretty good together. I think the size difference here is pretty good. He might have needed to be a bit smaller, probably, but I think it's alright. Have that. Here he is with number 32. Series number 32, Optimus Prime from the first movie. 2007 movie. He's a bit longer. I never really liked this truck mode too much. Well, I love the truck, but I don't love this particular figure's truck mode because it doesn't look it looks a bit weird. Here he is with MP10. One thing I have been missing out on is the Masterpiece comparisons, which I apologize for. I have been a bit slack on that. But there you have those two together, and they look good. And last but not least, my previous review. Here he is with number 54 Megs. Now, if it had turned out to be a prequel, the Bumblebee movie had turned out to be a prequel, this is how this would have gone down, because back on Cybertron, especially, not as much in this mode, but back when I get him into robot mode and I compare these two in robot mode, this is how it would have looked on Cybertron, because this was Megatron's mode on Cybertron, and this was Optimus Prime's mode on Cybertron. But it turned out to be a reboot, so technically that doesn't work. So, taking him off. Now, let's get on to transformation. As I said, this transformation is very different, but I like it. First, you want to untab this whole bit, the whole front grille, and pull it down, and this turns out to be the back. Now, you want to untab this the shin section, and split the legs. Coming under here, pull this part down, like that, and fold in the fuel tanks, which I like that. I like that move, it's pretty cool. Then you want to fold this part up onto there. Now you want to fold in the trailer hitch, and untabbing it, you want to pull it down and around, like that. That's the foot. Untab it there, down around, and you want to swivel it out, like so. And maneuvering it on this hinge in here, not that hinge up there, that one there. You want to flip the toe out. Same on this side. Now, here, you want to come down, and this whole section will split apart. like so. Come apart there. Now bring it down. If you fold, keep that there. Fold this part up, and there's a little, you see there's a little mushroom just there. And that will tab into that little peg in there. You can see it just there behind my in front of my finger. That'll lock in the Achilles. Now there's a slot there and a tab there, and they'll just go into each other, and that completes this whole leg. Coming around, do the same thing here. Unfold this whole section here. Make sure this is down, locking in the Achilles. Bring this all the way down and tab them in on this side. This side is a bit finicky, more so than the other, but it does eventually work like that. And there you have his two legs all done. Now moving up, we'll start working on the upper body. In here you want to feel these parts back. You can get into it like that. Now you want to fold this part down and in the window, down and in like that. Now if you separate all in here, it'll all come out. The shoulder and the arm up in this shoulder joint like that. Just have it out like that. Now bringing this side down, do the same here. And now you have the arms out and ready to be transformed once we get the whole rest of the body finished. Making sure this part does seem to come up a bit. And now, for swiveling the top upper section, you need to remember, you need to untab this part. It's a hinge here, so that makes it a bit, comes out a bit, because it locks in pretty tightly. You want to make sure this is all the way down, because this will stop it spinning, and then that will end up snapping something. And you want to fold these bits up, just to give you a bit of rotation room. Now swivel it around. Make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. Keep swiveling it until it goes a full 180. Now you're going to bring these front windows apart. Untab this area and fold it back. Fold it up, fold his head up, and it should lock in there, and then close up the matrix compartment. Just like that, and then make sure these parts are still folded up. Coming around to this side, you want to make sure that these wheels are folded in, and that will end up tightening all this together, because with it out like that, he'll be doing an ab crunch. If you fold it in, that'll make sure that's all locked in place. And making sure this is still out of the way. You want to fold in the side doors and then bring this up. And as yet, I haven't found a way that this tabs in. It just kind of sits up there, which it's a massive bit. So that's a bit of a flaw in my opinion, because that comes down, it's pretty loose. But I haven't had much problem. Unless you shake him around, it doesn't come undone. Make sure this is all plugged in. Bring the arms down, rotate them like that, and rotate the hands. Then you want to pull this shoulder apart, fold it up, and make sure that the chimney stacks are still rotated upwards. Which is really weird, because with the transformation, these smokestacks don't need this, unless it's for clearance at some point that I missed, that you need to fold them down to swivel it or something, but I probably missed that. But otherwise, you don't need that rotation in there, but it's there anyway. Swivel that up, swivel that, swivel the hand, and as I said, this part's a bit finicky down here, so make sure that's locked in. Come around here, this part's come down again, and these have come out. Make sure it's all locked up pretty securely. Bring that up, this part's come out again. Make sure it's all still fully plugged in and all of that. Straighten out the arms. Make sure those pauldrons are down. And here you have Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime in his robot mode, which does seem to fall apart a bit if you don't do anything, if you don't handle it correctly. Yeah, there we go. Here we have him in his robot mode. And he definitely is one of my favorite figures. I've been told that he's overrated. I've been told that people say that he's better than he actually is. But I really do think he lives up to the hype. The paint on him is definitely a massive bit. It's a fantastic type of paint. It's not shiny, but it's not dark also. It's a sort of satin-like finish. And it looks fantastic, and it feels fantastic too. It doesn't feel like it's going to chip. It feels nice and solid all around. The detailing on him is fantastic in the ab section. The head sculpt, it's not accurate by any means. It's a bit too fat and short, but I like it, to be honest. There isn't much rotation or posability in it, but it's still pretty nice. All the way down. Fantastic paint applications and detailing in him. The back section, I'm going to hit this with some paint at some point and hopefully make it look really nice, and hit some other bits with some paint just to try and get rid of some of the blandness, because this is not painted and it just doesn't look too nice. But otherwise, it's just fantastic. The way that the fuel tanks fill out the thighs works really nicely too. All around, it's a fantastic figure. For posability, his head can't, that's all the up and down movement in the head. It can do a full 360. He can reach out that far with this part moving to accommodate. It's got two hinges in it. Hinge there, and hinge there, so a double hinge, like that. It can't do a full 360 due to clearance, but if you move that out of the way, it can. It's got a slight butterfly joint in there, like that. He's got a swivel at the bicep. It's going to do a full 360. A nice 90-degree bend at the elbow, and a swivel at the wrist, which is pretty decently tight. He has got a waist swivel, which is fantastic, and it actually does a full 360, relatively. It gets caught sometimes. These side skirts move out of the way to do a full split. Back forward that far, not very far backward. That's about as far backwards you're going to get. Swivel at the thigh, upper thigh. A further than 90 knee bend, which is nice. Up and down at the toe, and a pretty decent toe, ankle pivot. But it all just carks it as soon as you do that. It just dies and falls apart. So you've got to be careful when posing this guy. As for his weapon, you can take his ion blaster and plug it into his hand. He looks pretty good carrying this gun. Really nice looking gun. I'm gonna look up some renders and see if I can paint it, just because it's a bit bland. Now, with pegs on either side of the stock, you can plug it onto his back, like that. You can have it across like that. You can have it sticking up, like that. Which looks really nice. His chest can technically open up to reveal, it's like a matrix chamber, but there is no matrix inside, which is cool. And that reveals some more detail, which is actually, there is weathering. There is silver weathering. If you can pick it up, you'll probably be able to see it right above my thumb. There is weathering detail in there, which looks really nice. And I've only seen that on one other figure, and where they've done the weathering themselves, and it looks alright. As I said, this part comes down, so I might tighten it up in here with some nail polish. There are some joints in here that could could benefit from some nail polish, some clear nail polish to tighten them up. But as a general rule, I'm happy to leave joints, except for ratchet thigh level loose, where he actually can't stand up. Now, putting him off to the side, let's get some comparisons in. And for a guy with that much foot articulation, he doesn't like to stand up. Here he is with 1997 Camaro Bumblebee. My closest to a Bumblebee movie figure. Here he is with number 32. Optimus Prime. You have that. Oh, jeez. Here he is with MP10. Bit smaller than MP10, probably. And that. And last but not least, as I was saying, here he is with number 54 Megatron. If it had turned out to be a prequel and not a reboot, that is what it would have looked like on Cybertron Optimus versus Megatron. But there we have that. So that's just about all for this figure. I'm definitely really glad I ended up getting him. He definitely hasn't disappointed. He's not my favourite Studio Series figure. I've heard a lot of people say he's definitely their favourite Studio Series figure. He's definitely up there with me, but I definitely have my other preferences as other figures. I am going to start a Bumblebee movie display, get some more Bumblebee movie figures. For now, this Bumblebee will go with him, stand there, and I hope to get some more later on. But I've been trying to find the Volkswagen Bug Bumblebee, but it's pretty expensive on all the ones I've found on Big Bad Toy Store and so on eBay. So I'm going to have to keep looking and hopefully find something else. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.